us begin as we're already 5 minutes after the hour. So I'm calling the Board of Health meeting for September 22nd to order. So first things first, the meeting has been opened and I believe the agenda has been reviewed. Does anyone need a moment to review the agenda? I don't think we need a motion to review the agenda.
No.
So the meeting minutes, have people had a chance to review the meeting minutes?
I have.
May I have them accept the previous minutes?
I make a motion, to accept the previous meeting minutes. We're gonna stop, talk over each other all the time. Go
All
ahead.
right, I second that motion.
And unanimous.
There we go.
Ta-ra. Fantastic. We're just buzzing right along here. The next is to appoint Wendy Moran as the Assistant Animal Control Officer. Do we have any discussion?
Need to discuss.
I do, through the chair, if I may.
Yeah.
So I saw the agenda, I saw this particular item on the agenda. So I took the time to contact legal counsel because I had some questions relevant to the legalities of it. And I know there's been some controversy lately about authorities, and I'm learning a lot of this stuff as I go too. I have to tell you, I've learned more in the last 2 weeks of just speaking with all of you, including you, and speaking with legal counsel and getting the take on everything. I'm getting a much better understanding of it, and I still have a long way to go. Here's my understanding. The Board of Health is very autonomous. They have the ability to hire their own health agent, negotiate contracts, although you would think that they would work with the boards and the committees in town negotiating that contract to ensure that when we stand up on town meeting, everybody's in unison as far as the funding sources and that we have the finances for it. However, having said that, it's still all health agents and all health officers are under the authority of the Board of Health. Animal control is not. Animal control is governed by Chapter 140, Section 151 of Mass General Laws. And it says every city and town in the Commonwealth will have an animal or dog officer, as it used to be called once upon a time. And that individual will be hired and maintained by the highest level of, I'm trying to think of the wording they use. Basically, for towns, it would be the Board of Selectmen. For cities, it would be council or the commission, or if they had commissioners, or their delegates, or whoever they delegate the authority to. Here, this town has the Town Managers Act, which spells out that certain aspects and responsibilities and authorities of the select board are delegated to the town manager, including this one. So in my opinion, and I'd be more than happy to have this put on legal paper and present it to the committee so you could have it formally. And I just had my last conversation with them today, so I apologize. Some of this stuff is hot off the press.
Sure.
It's my understanding, and from what I know, that this position falls underneath the town manager. And the town manager is the appointing authority.
When you said this one, does it specifically call out the animal control officer?
It does.
Okay.
Okay, if I may, and I'm certainly not going to dispute this if this is the way you want to do it, but just so you understand that we have not been doing things wrong all these years. The law clearly states dog officer, and we agree the dog officer has to be under the selectmen, which is why it's two different positions. The animal control officer falls under us. The dog officer falls under the selectmen. We tried to combine the position to make it easier for both boards. We can't. The dog officer has to stay under the selectmen. No problem.
No,
So,
you get, but no, it's not dog, it's the animal inspector.
right.
You gotta, and that's where it falls under, just a dog falls
Where
under.
you have barn
Yeah.
inspections and everything else. That's very different than the dog officer.
Well, there's actually, I'm through the chair, I'm sorry. There's about 5 or 6 different. If you look under Mass General Laws, there's about 5 or 6 different names that are referred to a
Yeah.
spin-off of the
Yeah.
dog officer, animal control,
Yeah.
humane officer. There's a whole bunch of them,
Yeah.
but they all refer to the same position.
Yeah, just so on the animal inspector part, like each town, like Hopkins has 2 dog officers, you know, everything gets mostly reported to the state on that part of the job,
Uh-huh.
all the quarantine, whatever that is.
Right,
Or, you know, then when you have a dog attack, I go to the selectmen with the paperwork.
right.
Yeah, so it's 2 jobs, the one, some towns have it separate. Some towns just do it separately. You know,
Okay.
So we have.
but we just know it as one, we're a town doing it as one, Milford does it as one.
Okay.
Grafton does it as one,
So-
Westport is one,
So you function as the dog officer,
and animal inspector.
the animal inspector.
Yeah.
Understood.
You're gonna hit me with that phone?
No. You guys continue. I just
No.
want you to read,
No.
I just want to read the actual.
I just read Mass
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Can I just ask, has that been updated? When was that printed?
Yeah, there's an amendment to it.
Okay,
Yes.
Is that the amendment?
Oh, it is?
yeah.
For the record, Diane and I get along great. So
I just-
anything that you see that looks like jabbing is friendly jabbing.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. I am not gonna argue with you, Dennis. All I'm saying is, I've read this law so many times, so I understand what you're saying. And
But
I'm gonna do whatever you guys say.
through the chair, the best way to bring this kind of stuff to, you know, an understanding that we all nod our head and agree with, is to recognize that none of us are attorneys, but we have some. So let's let them give us their legal opinion in writing. We can even ask for clarification on this particular subject as well, and we will follow it.
I think that sounds like a very reasonable way to start.
The second part,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, the second part is, my goal was not to come here and stop this
Okay.
at all. In fact, it sounds to me like you need this position.
Yeah.
So we should be working together to make it work.
And if I may, I believe, Mike, you're going on vacation
Yeah, I
shortly,
got 2
which
weeks.
leaves.
You know. We
Yeah,
talked-
but, no,
Dennis-
wait, I'm not.
But Dennis and I have discussed that.
Right, but the board needs to know that.
Yeah.
So Dennis, is there something we can do so that the town has some type of coverage while he's gone?
When are you going?
I'll be leaving in 2 weeks.
All right, I'll post that this week. Well, I.
Contact council and say, look, you know, we've had Wendy stepping in. Can we do this? Can we do an interim? Can we do a backup? Can we do a, because you know, I know the police officers do not want to be called.
No, but like I said,
Something
when Dennis and I talked about it, there's 2 wrongs to this whole thing. The wrong is first, one of the liabilities not covered by the town, once you're born, because you're not a town, but the other liability for the town is if you have no coverage, something goes wrong.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
There's 2 liabilities. Which is the worst evil we're dealing with? We don't know.
Well, I want to protect.
That's why
you.
Wendy, that's why, you know, we already knew this a while ago. That's why Wendy took the test
Mhm.
to make sure we're covering 90% of ourselves.
Right.
So for example, I know like, well, the Board of Health has had quite a few people drop dead. And, we've appointed interim people until the election.
Right,
So with Mike going on vacation, before we can advertise this job and literally get it up and running, can we appoint maybe Wendy as interim? Just as a placeholder when he's not available?
or can the town manager, either way,
Or can the town
I'm
manager?
gonna do what you wanna do.
Exactly.
Not what I wanna do.
Exactly, but I think we have 2 weeks to make sure the
Like
town
so-
has some type
The
of
thing we run
coverage.
into that we talked about before, like Joe had said, we'll offer that person 3 hours a week stipend to cover you on. I don't get that. How you gonna
No.
offer an assistant that when I don't get it?
Right, no, I don't, I think we need a body and then we'll figure out.
Yeah,
Okay,
Because the
which
way,
would be
you know,
similar
you understand,
to-
the way- he got,
Well, we need,
Dennis really on the animal control. The way I get paid, you understand, it's not the way you get paid.
Right,
so right now, we have an immediate need to backfill this position for when Mike steps away. Then after that, we need to understand where the law stands now
yes.
with the difference between an animal officer or an animal inspector and a dog officer. So we need to understand that split.
And the roles that we both play in that.
Right.
We being town manager on behalf of the board of selectmen, you being the board of health.
Right.
So it's important that we both understand our roles in that so that we can help each other correctly.
And it sounds, I have no issue with dog officer maintaining with the select board or the town manager. That makes total sense to me. the part that I don't fully understand is the animal inspector, which is going to be reporting disease from animals, risk factors, stuff like that to Board of Health.
Which is why there's a lot of times you see that authority is one entity in town, but they have to coordinate through another entity in town because, for instance, the library is the same way. You have the Board of Trustees is autonomous. They do their own thing. They're elected and they serve, but employees over there are hired by the town manager. And that budget is put together by the town manager, but he doesn't put it together by himself, even though that's what it says. He sits down with the
Right.
library director and they discuss the budget. And the library director says, these are the things that the library trustees want to do. These are the finances we need. And then the town manager figures out how to support those needs.
Mhm.
Because we should all be working towards the common goals.
Agreed.
Always.
Yeah.
And that's what, I think that's what my role is here as acting town manager, is to support your needs. I recognize that you're gonna need to fill his shoes soon. So I'm gonna get on the phone tomorrow with MTC and bring this to their attention and say, what mechanisms do we have legally that allow us to do something in the interim while we're figuring out some other roles and we're getting some additional information? What can we do immediately, short term, to fill this need? And
Right.
get that information from them and then I'll bring it to the board and we'll follow that. And
Okay.
hopefully they have, and I know they will, they'll have some idea of how we handle this. We can't be the first town to experience this.
Right, just any kind of job, has to be backfilled for it, yeah.
And the skill set that Mike brings is really, very singular. To being able to fill this role as one person. So I think the fact that Wendy has been trained up on this, should be a feather in her cap, as it were, to what town council says. So please include the fact that she has been trained in that part.
For full disclosure,
Yeah.
Michael, I'm
Yeah.
saying through the board,
Yeah,
for full disclosure, I'm also gonna bring up to the council that this is your wife.
Oh, yeah, you have to.
So
You have
that
to.
they assure
On
us
ethics, you have
that
to.
there's
On
no
ethics.
kind of
No, that's,
issue.
you have to answer
If
that.
they want you, if they say, oh, no, but he should call it disclosure.
Yeah, I know.
Or they should both file
Oh,
disclosure.
definitely, I agree on that, I wouldn't disagree on that one, that's on the ethics,
Exactly.
that's part of the ethics section, you can't carry a.
it makes
Mike-
makes sense, but he's not hiring for it.
I know.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it certainly would work.
No,
Okay.
no, but,
Thank you.
yeah,
Grayson,
you say, we've been doing this a long time, and, I keep on bringing it up to everybody,
well, I think we're.
and, the steps go next further, just make sure we do it the right way, so no one's
Mhm.
hung up to dry.
So I think there are aspects of the animal control officer's duties and responsibilities that need direct communication with the town manager. There are things that Mike's gonna want to propose going forward for budgetary issues, or his truck needs to be replaced, or things of that nature. And he's also gonna keep the Board of Health up to speed on that too. Then there's gonna be things that are to do with exactly what you were referring to, as if they found a diseased animal on a piece of property. That's not something so much that your town manager is really gonna be able to assist an awful
No,
lot.
You're gonna have to wrap up the rabid bat and send it off.
Yeah.
You're gonna-
I'm calling you.
See, this is what, I don't know if that's in Diane's job description, is wrapping up the dead animals, but people have to realize that.
Oh, yeah, like I said,
Somebody has
there's a lot of, everybody's shop's got, each shop you do, there's a lot
I
of.
think it's all to
avenues
do
that
with
We don't
farm
see
medical.
normal. At least Dennis understands the animal control, you and I had a long conversation, he understands completely how it works.
Yeah,
And which is good, we have somebody that knows it, wants to learn it, more about it, and is willing to address it. Where every year I bought somebody that didn't want to know anything about it, it was always this.
well, my concern is to a low degree, and I try to operate within good faith, that people that I'm working with are also trying to work with me. But if we get a town manager that says, we don't need this role, what do we do?
Well, he can't do, or she can't, because it's So it's dictated by Mass General law that every city and town have one.
Okay. very
Just like your tree warden, you're required to have by law a tree warden.
To mind the
But the
trees.
thing is, like you
Yeah.
said,
Well, it's me.
Stay there.
My father was
That's
a tree
successful.
warden for a while.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Well, there's an actual
Long time.
Massachusetts shade tree law, and
Yeah.
it governs all trees located on town properties.
Nice.
And there's a process that has to be followed to remove those trees or to inspect them, or whose responsibility there is, and that is the duty of the tree warden,
Mhm.
which in this town is me.
Nice.
Actually, I take that back. He was the measurer of tree and bark. Different position.
nice.
Believe it or not, there was such a thing. I don't think he ever had to be called out, but.
No, hang it was there.
So, Mr. Chairman, that was really, that's the crux of why I'm here today, was that particular item I saw on there. Not to mention, you and I had a previous conversation, I thought it would be good to pop my head in and say, hey, how can I help? I know I can help now.
Right, there you go.
Yes.
Thank you.
No.
It's
it's different. Nothing. These guys try to do different from what we used to.
Yeah.
We
that's
hope
great.
next one will too, you know?
Yeah.
Let me know.
So good, but before you go, when we're talking about, not to step on your toes,
Please.
we're gonna talk about the job descriptions, and Diane has mentioned that for Tricia's position, VNA can step in. Now, if we don't have to advertise for a nurse, I'm sure it would be a cost savings, because they technically wouldn't be our employee.
So this is the nurse is the health agent?
No,
Okay.
the town nurse, she does our flu clinics, blood pressure clinics, sees people that. are-
But she falls underneath, yeah, that's,
So that's
That's
something
your
we,
role.
right, but we share that with the town of
Blackstone.
Not anymore.
Okay,
So, I
So-
mean, she does, but that's gonna stop.
Yeah.
okay, but anyhow, so what I think, Diane, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Tricia's looked into this because who wants to be, I don't think people are scrambling to be town nurses. Everyone can tell you she is extremely underpaid, but if the town can hire, instead of having a full-time employee that is a town nurse or a X amount of hours that is the town nurse, you can call in VNA to cover her duties. So we don't have the retirement, we don't have the vacation, we don't have, they're not employees, they're just stepping in to cover that position, but I don't know if it's in the bylaws or something,
I think
Because-
this falls underneath
or is that all?
our health
Board of Health?
rules and regulations, I think.
Do you know?
We don't have to have one, as long as we have
Okay.
somebody that's gonna be, if we have like another COVID
Mhm.
outbreak,
Right,
they're gonna be, it's not gonna be as personal as Trish made it, that's for sure.
okay,
And the posting that they've created, if this position does get posted, is only 19 and a half hours.
okay,
So therefore, there won't be any benefits.
oh, okay,
So
so, well, then that's us to
What was
decide.
Trish working under? Was she working?
she was an
full-time?
employee of the town.
Was she an FTE or part-time or?
Part-time. She was
Part-time.
part-time. She,
Okay.
she did 20 hours for this town and 4 hours for Blackstone.
So I guess,
We have to consider,
right,
maybe even sit down and talk to Trish and see what she feels that the town needs.
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, because
I think that's-
Sandy's gonna need, the problem is, it takes so long to hire a municipal.
Right.
You have to advertise it, nothing, I've told people municipal works like a drunken snail, it's incredibly slow. Goes in little circles and all over the place. So is this something we should? I think we should decide if it needs to be posted or. But we can't, the rub is we can't discuss it unless we're all together, because then we violate open meeting.
so first off, regarding VNA, I think that might be good, but it will only be as good as the information that we provide that nurse.
Exactly.
So I think Farrell stated in our previous meeting, I think it's worth restating, that we need like a comprehensive informational download
Right,
from Trish and from yourself in order to allow somebody to get back up to speed in any appreciable length of time. So I don't know if Trish has been keeping like a binder or a notebook or something.
Oh, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic. I think it would probably be, if we did VNA, we could do a long-term contract.
Hmm.
And just have like request one person
right,
and say that we want,
the X to come to be our VNA.
Bill.
very few towns in Massachusetts have a town nurse, very few. We're one of the few towns, and they all do this. They hire VNA, they contract with VNA. And it's actually cheap money. But again, you lose that personalization that everybody knows, oh, Trish is coming to do blood pressures, and they know her well, and they feel comfortable talking to her.
Right.
So it's really up to the town and what they want to spend for money, I guess. And is there anybody that's willing to do 19 and a half hours?
Well,
So technically, we could advertise it if nobody puts in an application, or we don't like the person that
Right,
puts
you
in an
just withdraw
application,
it.
we withdraw it
You could
and
do
go to
that.
VNA.
I think this raises a question that I had is why is this changing from a town employee to part-time or,
It's-
or to 19 and a half?
No, why it's changing to 19 and a half.
Okay. Well, I think that if this is the position that we're in presently, I think that posting it and then also having a backup of VNA would be kind of the best bet
Makes sense.
for us to do. I don't know if we could post at Blackstone and say like, stay in your community. You know, be a nurse here.
You mean have somebody that does the same split that she did?
No,
What are you
so
saying?
not, I'm sorry.
Oh, a
I said-
BBT?
At BVT.
Oh, they have to be a
And so, you know,
BSN.
you graduate and you roll into being a town nurse.
I
They
think
need
she
to
has
be
to
in
be a
our-
BSN.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you
Okay.
have to have a degree, yeah.
Okay.
And I think it even says it in the job description. They
It
want a
does,
bachelor's
yeah.
degree,
Yeah,
not just an associate, but a bachelor's.
bachelor's in nursing, so.
Yeah. But I don't think we lose anything by posting it and seeing if
Right.
we,
Right.
can entice a retired or semi-retired nurse to come and, because I agree that there's definitely having the personal connection with the town is very special. But I think VNA is also a great option if we can't find that person.
And we may find somebody who's at the end of their career that says,
Right.
retired, my husband's driving me nuts, and this might
Right.
work.
Happen.
Oh, yes.
I'll do it.
I would like to point out that the minimum required qualifications on town nurse are a little confusing to me on read. Bachelor's degree from an accredited registered nursing school, fine. And then a semicolon, 3 to 5 years of related work experience, semicolon, some public health experience, plus any equivalent combination of education and experience.
It is confusing. I understand what she's saying. I think they're saying in the public, like Board of Health, public
Okay.
health field, which is a little bit different than just working in like a hospital.
Right.
But it is confusing to anybody that reads it. It's.
Yeah, if we're involving, if I think that will be our next potential discussion point, but if we are going to be involving overall town HR in the recruiting process, they need to know exactly what we're looking for. And that's basically where I'm coming down to is to just disambiguate this in some way, shape, or form. So.
Did this come from HR? We need to clarify for HR, it would be the correct,
No, that's fine.
the way it's worded, and I think you two have the great background to understand, public health versus pediatrician's office versus,
Sure.
I don't have that background. But you guys are both in the medical field.
You see job descriptions more and more like this where they don't identify just an education limit. Well, they don't identify just an experience limit.
Mhm.
They know that you could get a good applicant who's fresh out of school, but really good,
Okay,
or an applicant who doesn't have that degree working towards it, but has tons of experience that makes up for it. So they give you the opportunity to sit down and discover for yourself where their expertise really lies within those realms.
And that's where I think mine comes in. The nursing, you have to have a degree. Mine says a bachelor's degree too, and
It could say preferred, or, you know,
Right, preferred, I think it's what it should say.
it doesn't have to
Yeah.
say, and because you limit yourself.
Yes.
You might find someone who's been in the field for 20+ years and they're great. They don't have a bachelor's degree.
An associate's degree.
So, and you're great, see?
Job experience, well, there's people that will debate that, but
I,
job experience does
not anybody in this room.
My dad never got a degree and he did all production planning for and ordering for a manufacturing company. So I understand that a degree can be a shortcut, but it does not substitute for real world experience.
Right,
Absolutely.
exactly.
And common sense. I
So I
think,
think that needs to be, as Dennis said, preferred or
Yeah.
even taken out
So we're gonna say, well, this says an associate's degree
under mine. It said,
under health agent.
no, for assistant public health supervisor.
Field, okay,
Preferred.
for,
I have that in a lot of ours, and that gives us an opportunity to say, this is what we were. This is a minimum requirement if you don't have the experience,
okay.
you know,
Mhm.
but if you have the experience,
Right, I agree.
yeah,
you've already proven you can do the job.
we don't want to discount, we don't want to discount or limit our applicant pool,
Yeah.
needlessly.
And I think you're limiting to the nurses applicants by taking the benefits, but that's all up to you guys.
Well,
So what hours do you
Yeah.
get benefits at? Is it 20?
Yes, you don't really want to, and then it simply just becomes a budgetary thing. I'm sure your current budget doesn't accommodate it. So to do it, the earliest you would want to do it would be Springtown meeting. Because that's the next opportunity you'll have to adjust the budget. You couldn't do it right now and not have the money. Because your finance director is going to raise red flags and say,
Mhm.
you're agreeing to a position you don't have funding for.
Okay.
so I think that it's worthwhile. Thank you for bringing that up first off, because I was not really 100% clear on why we were shifting classifications. I think that that's definitely worthwhile to bring in front of town meeting and say, if we want to get somebody in here for the duration, that's not just gonna like flit in and flit out. Then benefits are really an important factor in that.
And so what the town meeting is going to want to see, I can tell you what finance, to get finance's support and the board, I don't want to speak for Laura, and the board support and the town manager's support, is they want to see justification from the Board of Health that there's a need. So they understand the rationale behind you saying, if you really want a good candidate that's going to plant themselves here and we have some kind of stability from that position and longevity, you need to offer them something that entices them to stay here, and benefits is the way to go. That's not difficult to understand, but people want to know, I don't want to do that just to get a person and then I can't justify the 30 hours they're working
Right.
because we don't have a workload that supports that. So that's where you have to convince finance committee, town manager, and the select board that this is required.
But right now, we need to advertise for this position and we need to advertise before town meeting, right? Because what's budgeted the rest of the year? I mean, Trish now gets benefits, correct?
Yeah, I think when we did the budget, neither one of us were talking about retiring, so I think it's a full year's budget.
Okay,
So you probably have the finances for this year.
okay. So we could bump it up to 20 and include the benefits because it's been in the budget for years.
Just have to
Well,
run that by.
let's-
Her budget changing or something?
Yeah, no, but so
Change it
budget
July 1st,
Okay,
July 1st, yeah. So,
but they only budgeted so much for my salary and this position can go higher than what I'm making.
understood.
I got to 16 cents.
No, it's like-
Get 5 addition. Sorry, just a little.
But we're not into the spring
no,
town meeting budget yet, and that
No,
would be
we're
the opportunity to make adjustments.
so we start planning for spring in like December.
So,
Like basically our town meeting is November 4th and then we start planning for spring.
so I guess I don't see a reason that we don't advertise this position as a
With
position
benefits.
with benefits.
I think
There's
we should.
no rationale behind that.
As long as you have confirmation that you have the finances to afford it. And that's a
So-
call to Kenny.
Okay.
And it sounds like, well, actually, you should be able to just help.
I can tell you what the budget is, and the budget is for a full year with her benefits.
So as long as you don't
So-
offer this new position more
Mhm.
than what your current employees are,
And it does.
It offers more.
Well, the high rate for her is more than what she's making, and the high rate for me is more than what I'm making, so. If you, now next year, this person could make more, but the
this
year
year,
that
So
we're
you would
in,
have to say, you have to hire them for FY 26,
Yep.
which is what we're in now. FY 26, which is until June 30th.
right,
At the current rate,
Right.
which is X, but come July 1st, we could request the budget and you get an
Right,
increase
right.
in any come July 1st. So somebody would be here. I mean, realistically, if we advertise this, we're probably not hiring until January.
well, the other thing you will have to consider too, Diane can help with this the most, is you have two long-term employees leaving in December. There are certain aspects of their benefits that are gonna get paid out when they leave, accrued vacation time, things of that nature, that is going to subtract from that balance that's remaining. You need to be able to take that into consideration to make sure, you may have to wait an extra 3 weeks before you brought somebody else on
Okay.
to make up the difference, and you know what I'm saying.
I do, but we're only gonna get vacation time right up until the day we leave, so
You-
it's not
you're-
gonna subtract.
You're not contractual employees, right? You don't have a contract and you're not in the union, so you're not gonna get any sick time. You'll get your vacation time.
Whatever is due to me up until the day I leave.
Yeah.
there
So
won't be any-
you may have to pause it a little, but it won't be a long pause.
So we could hire someone, look at the budget and say, okay, you're hired, but you can't start for another 2-3 weeks because that's when we can pay.
Yeah,
Which is reasonable. You know, we just give
Yeah.
a start date.
you're hired and your start date is on this.
Or you
Right.
could also say that, you know, because of this, we can't start these positions for an extra 4 weeks or 5 weeks. And we can always reach out to Kenny and say, Kenny, what do we have available to us right now for funding that we could use to get us to the next town meeting? And I'll bet you dollars to donuts he has something.
Okay.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, exactly, because we can't leave positions unfilled.
Right, especially in the middle of winter for public health.
And Board of Health, I mean, Diane knows the reason we're not only have we known each other forever, but as part of my job, I'm down here constantly. What do you got? I need a Title V. What do you got? What's this? What's that?
Yeah, people aren't happy with the doors closed.
No, they're not. And even, it's a riot. It's the trash bags and and the trash. Yeah, they forgot my trash pickup last week.
It's the everything.
Yeah, it is.
It's the everything.
People have no idea what this office does.
Most people don't. Why would you? No,
No,
so. All
What do you
right,
think? I'm just busy during the winter.
I know.
Snows. Rest of the year, I'm watching soap operas, eating bonbons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that's what I was gonna say. DPW and Board of Health, the
Yeah,
the
right.
least
It's on your
respected
desk.
positions in town.
You'll pile everywhere.
So I think we have the public health nurse kind of under control-ish.
Okay.
So,
except for the benefits, we're questioning whether or not that should be taken out.
right, well, that's what I mean. We need to clarify the minimum requirements. The benefits, I think that I thought that it's going, the position is going to have benefits.
Farrell, do you think there needs, I see the head going up and down. We're all in agreement there needs to be benefits, or we're not gonna get. I mean, if I can see somebody as a nurse retiring and saying, Jesus, I'm retiring, I'm 62. I can't go on Medicare for another
Right.
3 years, but
Right.
this would be a nice stopgap procedure to at least either pay for the health insurance or give me some type of health insurance.
So then that would have to be amended to 20 hours.
Yep.
And would include benefits.
Whatever, all I asked through the chair, whatever you come up with, whatever the final rendition is please include HR in it so it can be documented and kept on file. And we all look at the same document 3 years from now.
So the other thing that just came up is the hourly rate. You said that the hourly rate being offered is not equal to what is currently being used,
The high end.
the high end. How different is it? Do you know?
I think it's like, for both of us, like $5 difference an hour.
Okay.
I can tell you what her current rate is. I don't know.
Like,
This
did,
quote.
has this range been approved by the town? Or is like, I don't want to come up with something and be like, it's
If it's,
$200 an hour.
if it's in the budget, then it's there. If it's not in the budget, then we
You mean
can't.
it's here?
It's, if the money is in the current budget,
Yeah,
then you have the
Yeah,
budget.
is it one?
That's considered, the town has already approved the budget
under,
with salaries. So if that amount is existing, you're good to go.
okay.
And like I said, the other thing that I would ask,
It gets tricky.
No, understand. I just was wondering if this was something that we should make this, lower. Like to be
I
in
think it should be
accordance.
questioned, is there funding for this? Because that's not the budget that I put in for her for the year,
Okay,
okay? And I can tell you what that is off the record if you want,
yes, please.
unless you want it now.
Off the
It doesn't
record.
matter, it's public information.
I
So
don't-
right now, she's making 42.27 an hour, which is what was budgeted.
Okay,
And mine is 34.45, and they went all the way up to 38.99. Yep,
I
take your
don't-
time, I got them in front of me,
so you said yours is 34.45.
45, and their high end is 38.99.
Okay. This says 38.88.
Okay,
Okay,
and 10 cents off.
so I think that in order to not fall into some sort of weird
Right, I
budgetary
agree.
trap,
At least for this
that we
year.
need to
Cap it.
change this.
Mhm.
And this, so that we're square, so we're not like 2 weeks from the end of the
Right,
end of
running
the
out of money.
budget, and we're like, what happened to that?
Oops.
Okay. So, all right, so we have 20 hours, generally speaking, does Trish work 20 hours?
Yes,
Okay,
and
I
then,
didn't know if it was like substantially more.
no.
Okay.
Well, when COVID was around, she worked 80 hours a week. Probably more than that. But no, she does 20 hours.
Okay.
It's not to say she doesn't do more at home, but
Okay, so, and I think that we were talking about, is the assistant public health supervisor? That's you.
that's me.
Um,
The agent, there was no changes to,
okay,
and I think that was, they didn't have the dog officer job description, but
so the assistant public health supervisor in this JD is reporting to the town manager, and I guess that was a question that we were wondering
Dennis
too.
is addressing.
So,
I,
that was for dog officer, so,
I think that as far as I can read, and I've been told by town council is, other than animal control, all the rest of the agents and officers associated with the Board of Health are underneath. So,
Board of Health.
your Board of Health.
okay.
And it doesn't mean that we shouldn't have a uniform system of hiring. In other words, we should be using the town's HR to ensure that everybody gets, the job gets positioned. It has the proper job description that goes with it. It gets posted legally for the legal amount of time it's supposed to be posted, that your interviews are done in a fashion that meets labor laws and everything else that's associated with it. And that's what human resources is designed to do, to keep us all out of orange suits.
Right. That's fair. Okay, so I will amend that. And Diane, did you have any other feedback on the assistant public health supervisor?
No, that was the only changes that she made, was to remove the animal control officer, and I'm okay with that if that's the way it wants to go. I do think that they are two different positions.
I like
And
the
I
way,
think we need to look at that.
but I like the way it was listed, because it listed in the job description. The job description doesn't carry as much weight for us as the actual law does. And our rules and bylaws and whatnot. Those are the things that we're bound by. But in the job description, it lists that there's this, it's actually the Board of Health and the town manager. And I think that
Right.
that logically, that's what's gonna happen. There's gonna be instances when he needs my assistance for stuff.
Yeah, we do it. That's what,
And
that's what
there's gonna be instances when he needs yours and not,
that's how I was hired, that's when I was hired, that's how Blythe was. Anything dog related, I went and saw her. Anything inspecting related, I saw these guys.
Yep.
And then something overlapped, and we get everybody together.
That's why when there's like a dog bite that we have 3, then you have to go to the selectmen.
Yeah.
That has to be that way. We totally agree with you. But the animal inspector.
Yeah.
I disagree. I mean, if you want it, you can have it, trust me. But I don't think.
I
it's
think
really-
in today's, and I'm gonna hear, we're not gonna guess, we're gonna wait to hear what
Okay.
council says. But I think they're one and the same today legally.
Whatever.
I think that they have been merged over the years to meet a broader range, but they all have the same intent for the laws. As far as the laws. are
I'd
concerned.
love to hear what they have.
And that's the impression I got from council, but I wanna see it in writing.
Yeah, let's see what that
Yeah,
says.
that makes sense.
Okay, so I think we have had a robust discussion, so thank you, everyone. If there's anything else, Farrell,
I had a question. 22 Kiwanis was given till yesterday to come into compliance. Has anything?
So I
happened?
emailed Tara, because Tara, who was out of state, is
The
the
owner.
owner. And I reminded her that yesterday was the deadline.
Mhm.
She said, it sounded very strange. She said JL Darling was out last week for the initial assessment and is coming back to finish it this week, which makes no sense. Title V inspection is done in a matter of a few hours.
Yes.
So she said that she's going to have it for us this week. I just found this out a couple hours ago, so I will follow up with Darling and see if they really did start anything and why it's taken more than one day. But possibly we'll have it this week.
Okay.
So you guys know the inside of the whole thing.
Yep.
Tara in California is friends with they're both druggies.
All right.
There's no money.
on the record,
Yeah, I'm getting, and it's with this, it's the truth, it's the truth. There's just no money.
still on the record.
Yep.
See,
Yeah.
top box?
So that.
It is what it is,
that
okay, but what I
Um,
think because there was a deadline, we can, but I think if it's not wrapped up because of the potential health consequences, we
Absolutely.
need to take the next step, you know, I get it. It was due yesterday was Sunday, today is Monday, we should have an answer and then
So
we
what,
may be having another meeting to take further action.
Yes.
what is the process of going forward to condemn the house?
If we can't prove that that house has a passing septic system that's working, that's functioning correctly, then yeah, we would have to condemn the house. It's quite a procedure. But we've done it before.
Oh, yeah.
So is,
We'd need legal counsel and we'd have to have an emergency meeting to condemn it and whatnot. But yes,
is that to initiate it or to fully sign off on the condemning?
it's probably a day or two process to, well, not including council's input.
And their appeal process is gonna kick in as well, where
So,
it's gonna, it won't be a fast thing, it'll take time.
so my question is basically that they have exceeded what we have said is the case.
Yeah.
And if we begin the process, can we painlessly stop it? Or is it going to keep rolling downhill because we're losing time?
You can revoke it if they come into compliance.
Okay,
We can give her, like I said, let me call Darling and see if they really are doing anything.
Yeah.
And if they're not, then I'll let you all know and we can start the process.
sounds good.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, so I guess we'll table appointing Wendy at this moment. Are we going to need to reconvene prior to 2 weeks from now
May,
to appoint?
Just call me, I'm gonna give you the information as soon as I have it.
Okay,
Right.
and it's, wait a minute, but would the town manager appoint us?
Well, that's, and so to make this fast and simple.
Right.
When town council responds to me,
Mhm.
I'm gonna give you everything they give me. You
Okay,
can pass along to everybody.
Okay,
Tell me, want to have another quick meeting? What do you
Okay.
want to do? How do you want to handle this? You have someone in mind, you want me to do the appointment? They say, you can do the appointment, you gotta do this, and this. And then that's what I'll do
okay.
and follow it, and we'll get somebody in here, so this guy can go to the Bahamas.
No,
Perfect.
Moose hunting. Told you, oh, moose hunting.
There was
Remember that?
last time, moose is this time.
And moose are going deer hunting too.
The large animals are not safe for Mr. Moran.
No, no, I'm going for a grand slam.
So,
Nice.
so that sounds very good. I guess my question is still like the onus of appointment, as far as I'm aware, falls on Board of Health, right? Or for the assistant, I guess we're gonna have to sort this out in a hurry. To figure out whether or not we need to have another meeting to.
We're saying you can do temporary possibly, if council says everything's okay, but if for permanent, we need to post it. We need to
For
go
what
to-
position?
For the assistant animal control.
Yeah, I mean, legally, if they say you have to follow all of your regular, if you can do this for the interim and get someone in there, but if you want for long range thinking,
Yeah, so we're
Because-
really looking for like an acting
Yeah.
assistant animal control.
then we need to identify the need for the position, create the position the way we would create any position.
Hmm.
And through the personnel board of job description, posting, interviewing and hiring.
Well, what we're doing immediately, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is just a temporary assistant or an interim assistant to
To fill
cover
in while
vacations.
he's, away.
Well,
Like I
these,
said, it's not a permanent fix, because, it's gonna be,
no, we're gonna
weeks
have
are
to,
going together, but the weeks I've gone, at least towns get coverage, you get
exactly,
a
because,
liability out there.
exactly, because, but really, I don't think the position can be created until town meeting.
Well, we have,
The budget.
we have too many questions and that's,
Yeah.
I feel nervous about making any decisions without
Yeah.
council
I agree,
pointing the way so that we do this once and right.
Right.
I agree.
And do appointments, let's say, and I'm just boxing this and saying, let's say Board of Health has the authority to appoint the role. Does that require the entire Board of Health, or does it just require me?
Well,
That's
for the
usually
health
the
is a-
board.
A vote of the quorum.
Okay, okay. I
It's a
didn't,
majority vote.
I didn't know, so I wanted to check.
We've got 2 weeks, Dennis will have an answer in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be a snap.
Person on there, hey, give me
All
that
right.
2
We
stacks
need
off your
spare
desk.
time.
Yeah,
So I think we've progressed past reviewing the job descriptions.
Oh.
So I'll put together this feedback, route them all
Yeah.
one more time. And I think we're good with that. So any other concerns, thoughts, meditations on the job descriptions?
No.
Okay. Other bingos.
I just want to make sure that town council understands the difference between the responsibilities of animal control and dog
I was
office.
gonna ask them to explain that.
If he feels that they can all fit into one shoe, then that's fine. But I question that.
well, like I said, some towns don't do it. Some towns are 2 separate people.
Yeah.
One does this, one does that.
Right.
Other towns, the police department handles it all. Other towns, like Hopedale, the selectmen handle the whole thing. They handle all dog, it's every town, it's no general. And
So
weird.
that's the only thing I question, if that's taken out, and even if you don't want to give that supervisory responsibility to the clerk or me, it should go to the board or something, if it's 2 different classifications. So I don't know that should be taken out or not just yet. I'd
We'll-
like to hear what Dennis has to say before.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Before we change.
I wanna hear what Dennis has to say too.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think we could change this to, instead of direct supervision responsibility for employees, food inspector, animal control officer, and Title V agents, just say has direct supervisory responsibility, period.
you could,
And then
Good.
take that out
Right, right.
and then that becomes instantly applicable.
Exactly.
So,
Generically vague is fabulous.
exactly. Okay. Has direct, so do we want to say anything like has direct supervisory experience for like town health? I don't know. how-
when necessary or something like
Okay,
that.
as needed.
Yeah, as needed or something. I'm sure that won't go over, but give it a shot.
Oh, we can get.
Sometimes vague is very good, because when you get
I
very
agree.
specific, and then a new position comes up, like, I don't know, say ferret control or something stupid.
Well, she's always
Yeah.
wanted to know who you supervise. I think that's why it was done. But again, see if it'll float.
Okay,
I think it sounds good.
And because, let's face it, we didn't have food truck inspectors a couple of years ago, and now we have, they're the bane of our existence.
yes, food trucks.
You're very quiet. Do you have anything you need to say or would like to say?
No, I'm just keeping the fussy baby on mute. But no, I agree with I agree with the
Pussy
discussion.
baby's so adorable, though.
Isn't she?
She really is.
She's
Ferret, you can
beautiful.
fuss at us anytime. It's not ours. It's so cute. We're like grandparents.
Yeah, you just give her back when enjoy the cuteness, and then give her back when
Look
she's
at
good.
the eyes. Oh, my God.
She's amazing.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on from that, other topics not
So
recently
we can let
anticipated.
Dennis go. I'm sure he's
I
got
think we can
things.
let Dennis
She
go.
want to hang out with him. She's love to.
I'm gonna get out of here before you change your mind, hit me with a book.
Take care, and thank you.
That is a
Thank you,
big one.
Dennis.
Thank you.
Dennis.
See you
Okay.
next morning.
Okay, the only other things I have a food permit for the Itsy Bitsy Daycare Preschool, which is on Maple Avenue. This is a new one. She really doesn't need a food permit.
Being
But
overly
because
cautious.
she's gonna be serving milk and crackers and whatnot.
That's a food permit situation?
Yeah, I didn't think so either, but Dominique, our food inspector, said it probably because, it could, for one illness, the
I
milk.
guess so.
I suppose being overly cautious, because I know the home daycares have to jump through
Exactly.
all sorts of hoops.
Okay, and then I have two septic designs. One, these are brand new lots, one for West River Street, West Main Street. This is they're clearing. You can look at the plan if you want to. Paul has seen it and approved it. But West Main Street up by William Street, across from William Street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're clearing all those
Oh, yeah.
trees and taking it all down. And then this is a repair,
Do I sign on the second one or?
approved by the, yeah,
Application approved. Okay, I'll sign under and you can.
and then 74 Crockett Road is a,
It's the,
Oh, years. Across the road, I have all the stuff to repair. You got a lot.
so many going on Crockett.
Well, they're all old.
case correct. I think.
Money is too.
Oh, no.
Well, I dropped my phone and it landed in exactly the wrong way. Like,
Of course.
like it landed like this
Oh,
on concrete and it broke the screen. And I fixed the screen. I got the screen fixed, but it looks like there's a hairline crack on the case right in front of the camera.
Oh, yeah.
That's what mine was. I had to get
I get no.
a new phone. I used the old case still, but had to get a new phone.
That's called Murphy's Law one.
You know, there's a book that my parents used to have. It was called Murphy's Law Book.
Mhm.
And it is immensely well written. It has all sorts of really good adages in it. I think I'm gonna buy it. Just for giggles, and I'll show it to you, but there's stuff in there that's like, you can make something foolproof, but you can't make it damn foolproof.
And that's true.
Like, if you're a
It's
damn fool, you
Yeah.
can break anything.
Oh, yeah.
And there was.
My youngest used to say duct tape fixes everything except stupid.
And there was another one in there that was like, you cannot make, like, I used this when I was working with production planning, that you cannot make a complex system from scratch. You have to make a simple system that works, and then you can make it complex.
It's true.
Like
Yeah.
100%, absolutely respect. So I found that very interesting.
It is. All right.
I don't think I have anything else. I've got some more vacation time coming up and I'm getting coverage. I have a wedding in Maine on
Nice.
October 5th.
Oh,
And
enjoy.
then Jim and I are going to the Dominican for a week, October 6th. So
Nice.
I will make sure I have coverage, just so you know.
So, but you are now required, since technically we are your boss, not to be looking at the computer in the Dominican.
Yes.
Yes.
You can't.
Oh, yeah.
True.
She checks you all the time, like,
You send an email off to whoever's covering and Diane answered.
well, but how do you do it on my end?
I know,
This is, well,
Yeah,
I went now until we're done recording.
I know.
and if Wendy comes with you, it's another problem.
Yep.
Okay, do we want to adjourn?
I make a motion, we
Or do you
adjourn
have
at 3
anything
o'clock.
else?
or-
No, I have nothing else.
Second that motion?
Okay.